Some of the biggest and exciting reveals have been announced for Genshin Impact, and these are the top 5 new features coming with the 2.2 update. Just like the last update, we're getting a new zone to explore in Inazuma region, but this time around, it's only going to be just one island, although from the way it was presented, it feels like it's going to be pretty big in comparison to the previous ones. What's also interesting is that there's going to be some sort of a fog mechanic that will prevent you from exploring this new island, so it's either going to be a quest that allows us to clear the fog, or it might just be a new zone mechanic, just like the freezing cold in Dragonspine region. Now, the environment itself looks to be toned down compared to the 2.1 islands, and it's more similar to the initial 3 we had at the launch of 2.0 update, so it's kind of interesting to see this shift from extreme back to normal. But since there is going to be a fog surrounding this new island, maybe there's going to be even more surprising elements we haven't seen on the livestream. Speaking of surprises, a new enemy is going to be lurking inside this island called the Rift Hound that will come in 4 different types, and the biggest thing about this new monster is that it will deal corrosive damage, which is something you should be familiar with if you've been on the 11th floor of the Abyss. But basically, if you get hit by one of the Rift Hound attacks, everyone's health in the team will gradually start to decrease, and the only way combating this effect is by actually using heals. Lastly, this hound will also be able to go invisible and deal elemental damage, which kind of suits the whole vibe of the island that's all about hindering your view with a fog, so now you have to worry about your enemy ambushing you. New events means more rewards, right? Well, aside from collecting your Primogem paycheck, the newest event called Labyrinth Warriors will feature a pseudo-dungeon delving mechanic where you can form a team of 8 members, pick out some special charms that you can use in battles to assist you, and go through various rooms filled with enemies and traps. This is also an event where Childe and Xinyan get featured, and as for the latter, you'll also be able to unlock her for free when participating in this event, so it's kind of exciting to see miHoYo finally giving the spotlight to the often forgotten rockstar. The next event is going to be focused around the regenerative abilities of a Ruin Grader, and you'll be sent on an investigation to find various clues, as well as participate in some sort of a minigame experiment. To be honest, it's kind of cool to see an event that's themed around a Dragonspine enemy. But what's even cooler is this next event, where a rhythm-style minigame is making a return along with Kazuha, where you'll be able to unlock a new instrument to play in the tag team formation. What this basically means is expect to see many people showing off their skills on social media. Finally, a more relaxing gardening event called Dreams of Bloom will allow players to obtain a special gardening package by participating in an interesting game of creating the perfect arrangement of flowers. Oh, and before we forget, Leyline Overflow is also making a comeback. When it comes to characters in this newest update announcement, well, there's definitely some interesting things happening here. First of all, Thoma, a 4-star Pyro Polearm character, is going to be added in 2.2 update, who seems to specialize in defensive playstyle, or at least that's what it looks like from the way he was presented. Both his skill and burst produce a Pyro Shield, which is something that Xinyan can also do, but hasn't really been utilized that much by the majority of player base, so for the second attempt, it's possible miHoYo won't take the chances with splitting his damage into physical and pyro, and instead just go with a purely streamlined Pyro Shield character. Now, the main thing Thoma does with his playstyle is producing a Pyro Shield called Blazing Barrier, and what's cool about these shields is that they can stack, which can be obtained from either his skill or burst. So the more stack this shield gains, the better damage absorption, and honestly, it's great to see a new shield character in the game, because it's kind of getting tiresome from all the sheltering Zhongli needs to keep providing to us. Still, the biggest thing about him is the burst mode, which seems to work in a very similar fashion when compared to Xingqiu's or Beto's burst, although we did have to learn a very painful lesson that there is the distinction between these two bursts. So let's just hope Thoma's burst's functionality is leading towards Xingqiu's, so anyone who has Raiden Shogun unlocked can utilize this awesome new ability he provides. But as always, there's still a lot of things we don't know about him, like damage multipliers and some of the passives he will provide, so anything we learn visually with information crumbs these live streams leave us with isn't going to suffice until the big day of the actual update arrives. Moving over to 5-star characters, this new update is all about reruns featuring Childe as the first banner, and Hu Tao along with Thoma are going to end up as the second limited banner. Honestly, the most surprising thing about this announcement is that Childe is going to be reappearing for the 3rd time now, when we've got plenty of other 5-stars who haven't seen the rerun yet, but for those who have Xiangling and want to build a powerful team, Childe is definitely a great option to go for. Still, you cannot help but ignore Hu Tao's second reappearance appearance, since last time she showed up out of nowhere during 1.3 update, and one of the biggest things about her event was Staff of Homa accompanying her, so it makes you wonder if MiHoYo will also introduce this staff together with her banner. Either way, the allure of owning Hu Tao on Toma is probably going to be stronger than going for Childe's banner, although he is very popular in Japan, and it's possible we might see some surprising results once this new update arrives. But since we already know how these two 5-stars work, the only mysterious remainder here is Toma, since we don't know anything about him besides very broad descriptions of his talents, as well as few other things, like the fact he will help you out with fishing, or one of his passives giving extra damage to his burst by scaling with his maximum health. Other than that, we'll need to wait for the release date to review his capabilities, but let's just hope his abilities will not have any problematic translations, and his burst mechanic will work without any complications. Finally, 4 new weapons have been announced. A new 5-star bow that besides its name has nothing to offer in terms of information, while the 4-star claymore, catalyst, and polearm look like they belong to a set, so we might be seeing a repeating passive effect like the ones on Favonius or sacrificial weapons. If you've been forgetting to check out your Serenitea Pot from time to time, well, this new update is coming out with several new features, which includes a new realm layout as well as tons of new furniture items, one of which includes a floating rock that you can put outside and even adjust the height to recreate those Liyue sceneries. Also, world exploration just became more interesting because there will be a new treasure chest type you can hunt for called the Remarkable Chest, which you can open and find blueprints inside of it for new furnishings. Hopefully, we can get few primo gems for finding these chests, since not everyone is involved with customizing their Serenitea Pot. We're finally getting something that endgame players have been asking for a while now, and it's increased storage for artifacts. Now, the number is getting bumped from 1000 to 1500, and honestly, MiHoYo should have been more generous by at least doubling the storage, but since they're finally doing something about it, let's just hope this increase won't be the last time. But to quickly summarize, this newest update is going to bring the 6th and final island into the Inazuma region, and its theme is all about confusing the players with its fog mechanic. Not to mention a new enemy called Rift Hound is going to be hunting you throughout the island with its nasty corrosive attacks. The next feature, as always, are going to be the events, and the biggest standout has to be the Labyrinth Warriors event, which features sort of a dungeon delving mechanic where you can choose your party, pick some charms that act as your limited time buffs, and go deep into the samurai themed dungeon. The other events include a Ruin Greater investigation journey, a musical minigame that features a new instrument, as well as a relaxing gardening event. Last but not least, Leyline Overflow event is going to be making a return. But let's be honest here, the thing we're most excited about are the upcoming characters, and for this update, it's all about reruns featuring Childe as the first limited banner, while the second half is going to be Hu Tao together with the new 4-star Toma. Finally, a lot of nice little features are coming to Serenitea Pot, which includes a new realm layout, as well as remarkable treasure chests that you will be able to find in the world to unlock new furnishing blueprints. Now that we know Inazuma is going to be complete because of the final island coming in this update, it makes you question what sort of content we can expect to see in future versions. Will it be like before where we just get festivals and celebrations until a new region arrives? Or is there going to be a shift in this type of content delivery? Well, it's definitely something to think about, but for now, these newest and returning characters are definitely going to cause a lot of excitement in this next update, not to mention we're getting another opportunity for exploration. But if you found this video useful, you can help out the channel by subscribing to it and enabling the bell notification on, and don't forget to gently press that like button. You can also check out the official Gacha Gamer Twitter account for more news, and keep an eye on the pinned comment for the free Primo Gems before they expire. Thanks for watching till the end, and see you soon.